If you have a little flexibility in your John Muir Trail itinerary, some of the best experiences might not even occur on the trail. While winding through the Sierra Nevada, the John Muir Trail brings you up close and personal to some of the most beautiful and rugged peaks in the United States. Instead of just looking up at these peaks, why not soak in the views of the entire range from their summit? This video highlights 5 Sierra peaks that are worth detouring off the John Muir Trail in order to climb, and I promise you big adventure, incredible summit views, and unforgettable experiences. Okay, 5 peaks that are worth detouring off the John Muir Trail in order to climb. I ordered these geographically from south to north. I also picked peaks that I deemed worthy and that were made easier by being close to the John Muir Trail. A lot of these peaks involve very lengthy approaches, so if the John Muir Trail brings you within close proximity to them, it's probably worth doing a slight detour in order to get to the top and saving yourself another multi-day backpacking trip. Starting off way down south in the Whitney Zone, we have Mount Muir. Mount Muir is another 14,000 foot peak located very close to Mount Whitney and only a quarter mile off of the John Muir Trail. Because accessing the Whitney Zone either involves usually a multi-day hike from a different trailhead or getting one of the very elusive Whitney permits, it's really worth linking Mount Muir with your ascent of Mount Whitney. It is worth noting that the ascent of Mount Muir is third class, and I considered it to be slightly spicy third class. But once you get up to the top, you have beautiful views in every direction of the Whitney region, the High Sierra, the Kauai's, and it's very worth adding to your trip. Coming in at number 4, we have Mount Tyndall. I want to recommend Mount Tyndall because while it is another California 14er, its route going up the North Rib at third class is the best scramble I have done in the entire Sierra Nevada. The North Rib offers engaging, solid, and very fun scrambling and leads you up to an unforgettable summit. At the top, you have views of the Great Western Divide as well as California's second highest peak, Mount Williamson, that is completely unforgettable, and it's worth taking the couple extra miles to the Shepherd's Pass area to climb this worthwhile peak and super fun route. Next up, we have another California 14er. This one is going to be Split Mountain. Split Mountain has been designated by the Sierra Club as one of the 15 emblem peaks or big prizes in the region. It has incredible prominence and beautiful views. From the summit of Split Mountain, you can see all the way down the middle fork of the Kings River. You can look up north to see the rest of the Palisades and down south to some other beautiful peaks in the High Sierra. The reason why I recommend detouring off the JMT for Split Mountain is that it is so much easier to access from this side. From the upper basin, you have about 2,000 feet of class 2 talus hopping to access the summit, whereas from the other side, you have a 7.5 mile, 7,000 foot ascent that is very loose and slightly dangerous. This is a worthy objective, and the fact that accessing it from the JMT makes it way easier means you almost have to do it. Next up, we have another peak that is massive, but not a 14er. This peak is going to be Mount Goddard. Mount Goddard is another one of the Sierra Club emblem peaks, and Mount Goddard is really special because while it's incredibly tall at over 13,800 feet, it is very removed from the Sierra crest. This gives it high isolation and prominence, which means from the summit of Mount Goddard, you get incredible views. Peak bagging in the Sierra Nevada, it almost feels like you can see Mount Goddard from the top of every other mountain. So from the top of Mount Goddard, you can pretty much see every other mountain. Mount Goddard is also one of the most remote peaks in the High Sierra, located 15 or 16 trail miles from the nearest trailhead. If you're doing this from the John Muir Trail, you have options to either go over Davis Lakes Pass and do the Class 3 Stars route, or you could ascend the Class 2 Wanda Pass and have a slightly longer Class 2 slog to its summit. I promise you, if you do this route, you will not be disappointed, as Mount Goddard offers some of the best views in the entire mountain range. Coming in last, I have a very easy, very worthwhile peak that is definitely worth climbing. In Yosemite National Park as well, you have Clouds Rest. Coming in at over 10,000 feet, Clouds Rest is 1,500 feet higher than Half Dome and towers over many of the sites in Yosemite. From its summit, in addition to Half Dome, you get a great view straight down the valley all the way to El Cap. And if you look into other regions, you can see Mount Conness, the Volcanic Range, and many other beautiful High Sierra peaks. Also, the section of John Muir Trail below Clouds Rest is terrible and really not worth hiking, so you may as well hike this beautiful peak, get this views, hike much better sections of trail than hike the boring, hot, burned part of the John Muir Trail. I personally love Clouds Rest, as it's where I got engaged, and I've hiked it a couple other times since then. I am always blown away by the views. I think the ascent going up the ramp is super fun, and you will not be disappointed if you choose to hike this instead of the John Muir Trail section in Yosemite. Okay, those are the peaks that are worth detouring off the John Muir Trail for. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I would love to get back to you. I also would love to hear from y'all. If you hiked the John Muir Trail, you detoured for some peaks, where did you go? What's worth checking out? Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button, as I have a lot more informational John Muir Trail and trip planning videos coming your way, in addition to my classic High Sierra peak bagging rock climbing adventures.